time is also very short to speak about businesses in the Amazon, but I want to share with you a glimpse of information and knowledge about it. So who am I to talk about it? Well, first of all, I'm a native from the Amazon. I was born and raised in Belém of Pará, which has been announced recently as the host of COP30 for 2025. I always wanted to be a diplomat since I was a child, and I ended up living in Switzerland for 6 years. I did a master's degree in international and European law, and I don't know if you know anything about Geneva, but it's a multicultural city with people from all over the world. So it has actually helped me out to understand the importance of culture for mutual understanding, hence businesses and projects. I then came back to Brazil, to São Paulo, hired by the Swiss government to basically build its scientific consulate, making bridges between both countries and science, innovation, and so on. So I was head of office for 4 years, and then I quit my job. It was in 2018. 19, I came back home to the Amazon. And when I went, obviously that my network came with me, and I started being approached by the financial market in Brazil that was interested in investing in the Amazon. And basically what happened was I was approached by VC, private equity. I built a Chamber of Commerce, China and Brazil. So it gave me a lot of opportunities to understand a little bit how was the market in the region and what didn't work out. So it was a very interesting experience that actually helped me to understand what type of bridges we needed to do in order to make investment flow. And then after the pandemic, during the pandemic in 2021, I built my company because I had learned some lessons during this experience, and I wanted to basically help out somehow. So basically my company, Invest Amazonia, is in this first phase a project and partnership design company. And I help companies and institutions from outside the region to soft land their projects and initiatives there. And we use regional expertise with international experience to build strategies and solutions. Because basically this is what I can actually contribute for the region, making bridges. Now, going to business. When I was preparing for this panel, I was wondering if I had to do something more general to explain to people basically how the market is, or if I should do something more specific based in my experience. So I decided for the second option, which is to share what I have lived. So when it comes to businesses in the Amazon, related to biodiversity, right? We have 3 major areas. The first one is pharmaceutical, which I will not go further because it's very complex because of regulation. But biocosmetics and food have a lot of opportunities there. So when I talk about opportunities, we're talking about a ticket between $1 to $3 million, which in Brazilian reais is 5-fold. So $1 million is basically 5 million reais. The market generally in the Amazon is still a little incipient. It needs to grow. So if a VC from the US wants to come in, maybe it will not get in there because we don't have the companies ready for this type of appetite. So it's very interesting to understand how everything is changing as well. Because what I'm saying to you today, maybe in 3 months will not be the same. Because when you have new actors, new accelerated programs, we have a lot of things happening at the same time. So it's changing very fast. So talking about biocosmetics, that's a real case. I approached one company from the Amazon to a private equity that was looking for a company that had impact as well, and yet was mature enough. It went through all the due diligence. It was like all perfect, but it didn't work out. And why it didn't happen? It wasn't because of the company itself, but because of people. They couldn't find people to run the expansion of this company. So it didn't go through. But I learned something from that experience. It's not about money at the end of the day. It's about people. So we see very clearly how much money wants to come to the region, but it's not happening yet. It's because it's about the bridges that we make. So on the one hand, when the investment comes to there, usually it's already done, the thesis and everything that they want, but you have to adapt it to the reality in the region. And this is the point that I learned from that experience. If you want to do an investment in the Amazon, you have to be very careful to basically how to approach in order to make it happen at the end of the day. But going to food, well, I know that acai berry is known worldwide, right? Do you know what is acai berry about? Yeah, so basically, I currently live in a traditional community close to Belém, so I see the guys, go into the trees and get it and everything else. So basically, when it comes to food, we have a lot of opportunities, from the region to do something. Again, the ticket is between 1 million to 3 maximum because you have to go 5 times more than basically in dollars. Food tech, we have acai berry, we have Brazilian nuts, we have a lot of other opportunities over there. Once I was a jury member in a startup competition, and I could see very clearly the potential of it. So essentially, these tag foods, they are, at least in my perception, more ready for the investment than others, for example. And why do I say that? Well, I think the first reason is because they are science-based. So they have these aspects that give a lot of credibility to the business. And they are going through acceleration programs. So I see that they are getting ready for investments. And the other point is how to expand the business. This is the question that they usually have generally when we talk with entrepreneurs in the region. Why do I say that? Because basically, those who are running the company, they know about their products, but usually they don't know about other markets. And we need more people from other places to help out, to do this process. So that's why when we think about scalability, in the case of the Amazon, again, you have to open up your mind to adapt your mindset and your expectations, otherwise it can't work out. So that's very interesting how it can be very challenging in one sense. The third point, which I think is very promising, is science-based startups. This is basically what I'm seeing that is happening a lot. So basically, some of the companies that we see now in the region that are mature for our market, they have science based in their companies. So there is a lot of things that is happening now in this area, and they are promising actually, because basically science there is related to the biodiversity, and everyone wants to know basically how to make profit from the biodiversity. It's not only about climate issues at the end of the day. So I think that these are the areas that I would say that are promising. Food, biocosmetics, and science-based startups. But now, the tips that I could share with you if you wanted to do businesses in the Amazon is, if you wanted to do so, you need to expand your network to the region. What I see is that people from outside, from abroad, when they think of something related to the Amazon, they will open up their network. And what happens? Usually the network is from São Paulo, from southeast of Brazil. And guess what? Southeast of Brazil usually have no clue whatsoever about how the Amazon works. So you will essentially waste time and money. And instead of wasting, you can invest time and money in your networking there. Obviously that in Brazil, sometimes we don't speak English, we know that, but yet you can find. Because basically, in Brazil, usually, relationship building is very important. In the case of the Amazon, it's paramount. Entrepreneurs, they will say no to you if they don't know who you are. Because we have a very emotional relation to the business that we have. So we don't open up just because of money. Money for us is a part of the game, but it's not the most important one. So that would be the first tip. The second one is the 3P, passion, purpose, and patience. Because you understand about what you do, what you want, but yet you have to understand the other side as well. And I tell you, the Amazon culture is very complex. And people are struggling, with that information. And to me, personally, business-wise, is amazing because they will come to me to help out. So, I'm telling people, please do that, and then we will actually save time and money. So, passion, purpose, and patience. Because if you just want return of investment, maybe you should go to another place because the Amazon region is quite complex. But yet, what you can get there is something that is for your life. Taking that point, actually, we all know what return of investment is. But I also, I'm focused, and I wanted to share with the world, why not to think of return of impact as well? Because it has to be measurable. So if we use the same mindset of return of investment, but to build return of impact, we can blend both. And this is actually the tip that I would share with people. Let's think about return of investment and return of impact, because basically this is what is needed. The last tip that I would like to share, because I'm going to open up for 1 or 2 questions if you have time, is basically, it's not the Amazon, it's not the world that will save the Amazon, it's the other way around, because there we might have solutions that can help out other societies. So when you come to the Amazon, please be aware that you have a lot to share, but also a lot to learn. And that's why I am here. I'm here to learn how to access more people and more funds to there. As I was telling yesterday, to David, who is here, I have a part of the puzzle, but I don't have the whole picture. But you build it together, we can get somewhere. So this is actually the message that I would like to share with you, and I thank you for your presence. So if you have any question, we do have more 3 minutes. No questions? Maybe with microphone is easier.
I was thinking, is it not very risky to extract raw materials from the Amazon, for instance, to make cosmetics, because you are generating more deforestation? Like, how do you do that balance of keeping sustainability?
Yeah, because basically biocosmetics is related to the biodiversity. So it can be exactly what keeps the forest alive, not the other way around. So what destroys the forest is cattle and soya. And biocosmetics can be exactly the other way around, how to keep the forest, because it's about production and value chain. When we talk about biocosmetics or food, we are absolutely related to traditional communities, because the vast majority of acai berry, for example, which is one of the largest products that we have there, is still based on extractivism. It's not like a farm of acai berry. We do have so, but it's very incipient if you look at the whole market. So we have to make sure that those people in the base, on the grassroots, they have income. If they don't, they will go to the big cities. And then the mess is that we don't have an urban structure for everyone. If you think of Berlin, for example, it's a quite poor city. But part of it is because everyone goes to the same place, and when they go there, they have no infrastructure for it. So this is the point. When we think about biodiversity and we create businesses in the region, we can change the game. But if you just go to the Amazon to get raw material and your companies in another place, we are generating revenue and taxes in this place. It's not to us. So it's about changing the mindset as well. We have to make this place to prosper, not in other place in the whole world.
Hi, Maíra. First, congratulations. Thank you so much to come so far away to share those information with us. So my question is more about, you mentioned about SaaS, you mentioned about opportunities there. I'm curious about how easy is access to talent, specifically in Belém or let's say in Manaus, but how easy is access to universities to hire programmers, coders? How's the talent pool at your perspective or your experience, specific where you are based off? And I appreciate that.
Very interesting question. I think at the beginning it's pretty hard, but once you get it, you can spread out. What I mean about it is you just need to find one person in the region and this person will connect to you with what you want. So that is the first important message, actually. You have to find one person who can help you out to move you around the region. And going to talent, we do have talent there. But again, we have to understand how to basically get in touch. That's why I say invest time and money in building your network in the region. That will be helpful. And it's finished. Guys, thank you very much. So if you want to talk with me, I'll be around here. So basically, time is already gone. Thank you.